Alright, this is called 400 Miles. By the time I found the one, I'd been living in an apartment in Oklahoma City 3 years with very few women to account for during that time. There was one short-lived love affair with a good friend of mine that already moved 400 miles away. She had come to visit for a wedding, a mutual friend of ours. I offered to let her stay at my place, and she did. We ended up alone there, drinking and laughing, and one thing led to another. She was on her period, but I couldn't give two shits less. I threw a towel down on the bed, and we made love. The weekend immediately became magical. It ended like all things must, and she went back home 400 miles away. We wrote letters by mail and talked occasionally on the phone. I sat alone in my apartment drinking too much and pining for her. A trip was planned and I flew to see her for the weekend, but the magic was seemingly gone. We went to parties and clubs, but she was unwilling to have sex. At one of the parties, I got rowdy and broke some shit, and she wouldn't let it go. The next morning, she was in a bad mood, and she bitched at me for my behavior the night before. I was hungover as hell, bedraggled, and a bit ashamed. The things that annoyed me about her flooded back. The fact that when she read my stuff, she would say, "That's shock value. All you write is shock." I flew back with my dick tucked between my legs. When I got to my apartment, I made love to the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and the flies that buzzed around the empty beer cans. It's called Thank you. This is called State Fair. I met her on a Friday night. She was the friend of my buddy's girlfriend. Before the girls arrived, we went to his neighbor's house. The neighbor had an underground bar of sorts in his garage. He was mixing foo-foo drinks, strawberry daiquiris and the like. The neighbor's mother was also present drinking martinis. She was a good-natured, interesting woman. A one-hitter was being passed around from time to time, and we all partook. The girls walked into the underground bar. I met the friend. I liked what I saw. The four of us dropped acid in the bar and headed for the state fair. The fair had its usual seedy elements, wet, muddy, and plenty of carnies. The friend and I got along. She was bright with a good sense of humor. Then it was the kick-in. Everything was lights, 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 flashing, tracing. She wanted to go on the ejector seat. "Will you ride it with me?" she asked. "Sure," I said. Sounded like a good idea to me. It was $35 a person. I couldn't afford it. She found someone else to ride it with, and she was hurled into space with her mind laced with LSD. Jesus, that must have been a rush. She shook and wobbled when she got off, hair sticking out on the sides, eyes as big as the sun. Respect and envy set in. After the fair, it was back to my buddy's house. We partied and hung out. When things wound down and sleepy eyes drooped, me and the girls slept together on the couch. I like her so far.
Right.